Yep.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the September 9th, 2024 Franklin Planning Board meeting. This meeting is audio and video recorded, as well as on Zoom. And the Zoom calling number is 312-626-6799. And the meeting number is 9203-454-158. I guess we'll take our first item of business will be a continuation for 15 Liberty Way. I believe they're looking for continuation, Amy.
Yep. Yeah, I think we can move them out to October 9th. I think that's our, hold on, our first meeting in October. No, sorry about that. No, October 7th. Who's on? I know.
Okay, so
This
make a
one?
motion to continue 15 Liberty Way till October 9th. Do I hear a second?
October 7th.
Oh, second.
Second.
Excuse me, second.
October 7th.
Yep. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item of business, this will be a continuation for 240 East Central Street, site plan application. Introduce yourself first, and I'll go to Amy, and then I'll circle back to you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Richard Cornetta, representing the applicant.
Amy, if I could go to you for a brief overview.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just went over the last time they were in front of us was on July 22nd. A few comments about requesting some landscaping plan for the plans proposed along Lewis Street, or there's also a suggestion of putting a white fence along Lewis Street. It will be a requirement that they file an A&R 81P to combine the two lots for this project to work. And they do have design review recommendation for the facade. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gary just walked in.
Yep.
Hi, Gary, how are you? Is Matt online? Is Matt taking?
No, Matt's at a different meeting.
Okay.
Gary, you're on for 240 East Central.
I believe they have pretty much answered all of our issues relative to the stormwater and the overall site plans. The last set of revisions pretty much addressed everything. So we really have no, there's a couple of things that we've deferred off to the board, but other than that, we have no further comments on it.
Okay. I did see some of this stuff, multiple turns going in and out of the garage on one of the units.
Yeah.
There was one that caught my guy, that was utility layout for fire department. Did we hear back on fire department on?
I don't know if we've heard back from the fire department or not. I don't believe we have. I think part of that was that it was only shown on the one building. The utility room was only shown on that outside building. It wasn't shown on the inside building.
And then the overhead underground, it's gonna go underground anyways. So how about the rest of the board? Chris, I'll go with you first. Just let everybody know, Mark Letroni's calling in tonight too. Chris, any comments or questions?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. No, none. The changes looked like they were met our needs and requests from last time, and everything seemed to be relatively satisfactory. So,
Okay.
good here.
Okay.
Same as Chris. That's all set.
Same. Site plan itself, I think, looks great. Unless I missed something, but I don't think I've missed a meeting on this at all. I had asked for some adjustments to the exterior facade, just a couple areas that I thought could use some improvement, particularly the East Central Street siding facades or elevations. And there's nothing in the package, like any updated renderings or anything, so I was wondering if the applicant had any progress to share.
The applicant's been before the design review committee, I believe, twice. The most recent of which was, Amy might be able to help me with the date, but it was, I believe it was July or?
It was June 25th. There was a recommendation
Yeah,
for the
So they made a
facade.
recommendation, so we have made some changes to that facade. I think the applicant would like to go with the current proposed design as it's been recommended by the design review committee.
Okay, I mean, I just haven't seen it, and I understand that design review commissions are recommending board, but I just want to make sure we don't end up with a very massive, solid facade on East Central Street, or something that's not within the character of the area. That's my only
Do
concern.
we have that design reviews packet or no?
It's been included,
I didn't see it.
in the submittals that they have submitted.
Okay.
Well, so you're saying nothing's been changed since the last meeting that came in front of
I
us?
don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't know, I personally have concerns with this scale. Some of the architectural features, as I noted in our last meeting, particularly with the East Central Street facing facades. That's all. So I don't know.
Jen, it was the clunkiness of the front building on the right.
It was both. It was I felt like the building on the right just needed like clarification, like there was a lot of additive bits and pieces that didn't really seem to be in character of the area or the neighborhood. And then the building on when you were looking at that elevation on the left, not knowing what's gonna be in front of it long-term, just ask for a little bit of definition to that facade and possibly fenestration or windows. I think were my two comments last go around. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but.
Yeah, well, I do remember you bringing that up.
I'm just curious, Amy, through you, where would I find the design review information online?
It should be on the website, and that's actually what I was just gonna pull up.
Just look under the project.
Projects, is it
I
there?
don't see it,
You don't see it?
no.
Stormwater application, so I would have to send it. Would have to go on that computer over there if we were to put it online.
Just trying to refresh my memory. Do you have any
Any
copies of it
renderings?
or anything that we could look at real quick?
Other than, excuse me, other than the fact that I think the board recognizes that we've made some pretty significant changes to the site plan. This site is as of right. We comply with all of the, excuse me, the zoning requirements of the bylaw. We've done our best to try to address the various concerns from the board. And I would, respectfully suggest that the package and the elevations have been approved and recommended by the design review committee, which is relegated and exists for this purpose, to make those reviews, and they have given us a
Sure,
go ahead.
understood. As a board, I think we'd like to see it, just to refresh our memory, and if we're going to be closing a hearing and voting at some point in time tonight or the near future, I think that we need to incorporate all of the most recent approvals from design review, and
Well,
not
they-
having a copy of that
No,
in front of us.
Well, they've been provided. I mean, this is, it's one town.
Do you
agency.
happen to have a copy with
I
you?
don't
Oh, okay.
with me.
Right. That's okay. Right.
I just don't, I don't want to get into a situation where it's a he said, she said, but then something's built that isn't what we were expecting or hoping for based on our last comments as a board in the last meeting. That's all.
Okay.
I think if it's kind of-
So let's,
Mr. Chairman.
yeah, go
Attorney,
ahead.
do you remember the last time you were in front of the design
Oh, it
review?
might be on their website, that's
It
true.
was June 25th, I believe, the notes.
Mhm.
Wait,
I didn't know that
thanks.
far back.
How about, Mark, I didn't miss you, any questions or comments?
Did you find it?
Did we address the snow storage and also the concern about the landscaping along Lower Street? They showed on the plans that the plantings are still right on the curb, and we were concerned about them being covered with snow and so forth, or fencing. I think there was even a suggestion of fencing also.
Correct, because,
Right.
yeah, because all the snow storage was on top of the landscape beds, on top of your plantings. that change?
No.
So, that
There's-
doesn't,
There's no meeting minutes from the
Jim,
June
Yeah,
25th.
right here. The renderings.
this is from the agenda.
Okay.
So if you go to your computer. go to-
Yeah, no, I see it. I mean, it just doesn't look like anything is been adjusted. And there are no official minutes from the June 25th meeting on the design review commission.
Did they not post them yet?
Mm-mm. June
Mr.
11th.
Chairman, if I might,
Sure.
you know, as I say, we've been before the board. We're not trying to be difficult, certainly. We believe this is a project that is what the town wants. We've met the bylaw. We're asking for no waivers, and by my
yeah, we just wanna cross our Ts and dot our Is.
well, we've started this about 7 months ago, that's all, and we're just hopeful that the board would, we have nothing further to offer, so we're hopeful that the board will consider close tonight.
I'd rather have all the information enclosed than vote the next meeting if we're gonna do it that way.
I mean,
Maybe? It's just-
Go ahead, Jen.
I think it might be as simple as like just some paint color changes maybe, but I just don't feel like our last comments were addressed in
Well-
any way.
Well, one, we talked about fence, two, landscaping and the snow storage. You definitely would do something with that. You can't just dump all your snow on top of your landscape, that's just gonna kill everything. Landscaping along the street. There was another note in here about fire department, it was item number T2 on the betas list. I'm not quite sure what that one represented, Gary, but we could look into that. And I think a couple of the other loose items, I wanna make sure we have everything in front of us before we close.
Well, we believe that you do have everything in front of you. We, about a month and a half ago, the only thing that remained were the test pits, which we've gone and done. And we've addressed all of David's comments. So I guess I'm just failing to see, like, where you're saying you don't have the information. There's nothing further that we have to supply. We've provided everything that we've been asked for.
So is the fence on the drawing?
The fence,
We talked
is the
about
fence-
entering our fence. I mean, my concern is you're putting snow on a bed, you're gonna kill it.
well, we're not gonna do that because we would have to replace it
Well, we
at our
have to
cost.
snow.
No, I know, but at some point, we're going to treat the property as our own because it is, and we're not gonna do something like that that would destroy our landscaping. And
I'm
if we,
hoping you don't, yes.
but we, again, it would seem foolish to continue this matter again for a fence.
Well, if we continue, we'll close on the next one, providing all the information is in front of everybody.
Well, we've provided all the information. There's nothing further that we're going to submit.
So what's the board's feeling?
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, no, I don't, Jen, are you thinking of the building on the left where, like, you're gonna come down East Central Street, and that building, you're just kinda looking at the side with 4 windows on it?
Yeah, it's a pretty
Is-
plain facade. It looks like there was a little bit of, like, a little kind of trim piece or something put on. And there's a couple windows. I just would like it to be treated more like a front facade, because that's what it is, really. And then the building that's closest to East Central, I think it's just strange with like 2 paint colors, these big black chunky items that just, I don't know anything in that area that is of that character. I mean, the rest of it is very nice, residential scale. I understand the commercial piece is there, so you're trying to get a little definition. I mean, these are all the same things that I brought up last meeting. Maybe it's as simple as fine tuning some of the color choices that wouldn't necessarily impact site plan approval. I mean, that's my hang up is the character of those, particularly those 2, what you're seeing from East Central and how you're experiencing it.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
having some computer issues, and I'm just trying to view the renderings that were
Here.
approved, and I read the decision, so,
Did you find the minutes from that meeting, that design review?
it's a decision,
There's a decision that was approved.
yeah, so, which indicated pretty much, basics. They approve it as submitted and pending design, pending building permits and whatnot. So Jen, I'm looking at the renderings, and what is it you're concerned about?
Recording in progress.
Sorry.
The two-tone?
It's just, yeah, I mean, even if that whole front section just all together, like, under the eave, and the whole front facade was all just the same simple, like, beige, I feel like it would be okay.
I mean,
Sure.
Jen,
Let's speak.
it's different, for sure, but, it's not, you know, I feel like it's, I think design review probably could have asked if they wanted a different color, so I don't necessarily feel the need to ask for a color change.
Yeah, I think it's a little outside of our purview, and I honestly kind of dig it, so. Yeah, I think what's coming in.
Is it-
Yeah.
So, Amy, what do you think?
Well, I mean, this is up to the, this is up to the planning board to make that decision, where you wanna stand. It's a site plan, is it something you wanna close tonight? Something you might, you know, wanna vote on, or, you know, it's up to the board here.
Mr. Chairman, we very much would like you to close tonight. We're on a timeline for this project at this point, and we'd like to get into the financing phase. It's very important for us at this time of year, so we'd ask the board's discretion in that. I think we, you know, again, I don't want to,
Close, not vote, right, so.
well, we would like a vote, but,
Mr. Chairman, I personally don't have an issue.
All right, so make a motion. We'll make
Through
a
the chair.
motion to
Could I speak first?
introduce yourself.
Joe Halligan, one of the owners of the property. As you can remember, some of the board members here had some concerns on the garage doors. And we spent a lot of money, including another review with Beta, just putting those doors from Lewis Street over to the inside. Because you people were very concerned about the aesthetics of the building and the look, and it would be nice to have the garage. Well, it wasn't just as simple as just relocating garages to the inside. It changed the impervious, the drainage, another review with Beta, thousands and thousands of dollars that we didn't have to do because we had some support with the garages on Lewis Street. But we thought we'd appease the board and do that. And we've gone well overboard in trying to give you guys everything you need. I understand the concern, there might be one or two little teeny items, but being on the board for years and sitting with you, Mr. Rondo, this could be closed and voted on tonight. Hold the endorsement, we'll come back with those little changes. Because we have to come back with an 81P anyway and combine the two lots. We can do that all on the same night. And if you're not satisfied, don't endorse the plan. We're just like, it's been 7 months, and we've tried to do everything we
One thing,
could.
but some of those 7 months, just for clarification, was not the planning board holding you up, okay? So,
Why
Yeah.
wasn't it? It was all about the
Right, but
one-ways,
if you-
the driveways, can you move the garages on the
Mr.
inside?
Halligan,
That was a
come on.
2-month delay right there, just to put the garages on the inside.
Because we're working with you as an applicant,
I
we're working
understand.
together,
I
okay?
understand.
But the board is not one to take 7 months to hold people up because they want one little detail changed. You know that,
No, I
okay?
understand.
I've seen you
But-
hold things up as
But some
well.
of the changes
Okay.
were substantial.
I know, but please don't say the board is holding you up for 7 months because that's not accurate. Thank you.
All right, so,
I just want to add, I think this is a great project overall. I'm just a little disappointed that a lot of what was said in that last meeting was not addressed. And I understand that if ultimately the design review commission approve this as is shown, that is their role. That would not prevent me from, or would not sway my decision, you know. I support this project in any event, despite that frustration. So I think it's a great project. For clarification, we ask that the garages move to their side for safety more than anything, in backing off onto Lewis Street. But I think overall this is a much better project, and I just wanted that to be known.
Thank you.
All right, so, go ahead, Chris.
Again, I agree with Jen. Do you have a different supplier for the trim on this project?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We're in the learning curve too. We
Okay.
understand.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to close 240 East Central Street. There is a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And we're gonna vote on the next meeting.
Can I just clarify something? Now that you close the meeting, we can't submit new information to you guys.
Well, you
So-
just asked us to close the meeting, so what new information were you planning to submit?
I told you, you were looking for some info on the fence or for the shrubs, and she wanted a little trim. If that was to be done, we can't do it.
All right.
So we're just gonna vote on what we have.
You said, Mr. Canetta said you weren't gonna make any changes.
I understand, but I'm here just to get some ideas to keep everybody happy.
We're good.
Well, then good to say we
No,
don't.
we can't overstep our bounds with, design review to a certain extent, so. Okay, so we'll close it and we'll vote on it.
So you don't want any additional, this is it, you're gonna vote on what's in front of you.
As long as that packet is part of this plan.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go to our next item, would be a continuation, oops, sorry. No.
Oh, all right, thanks.
Our next one would be continuation of the public hearing for 6 Forge Parkway. If you want to just introduce the
Great.
board?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Edward Cannon on behalf of the applicant. I am joined tonight remotely by Joe Gagan from Donegal LLC, and Evan Tormey from Donegal LLC, as well as Mike Malinowski from Allen and Nature, excuse me.
Okay, I'll circle back to you. Amy, if I could go to you for a brief, excuse me, brief overview.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. They've received approval from the Conservation Commission. I don't have any outstanding items. If the board were to vote, there was a couple special conditions that have been talked about in the previous meetings. One being that Beta will observe the construction of the retaining wall. Also, a limited site plan is required for each tenant. And then there was one waiver that was requested to use reinforced concrete pipe.
I'll go to Gary from Beta.
No, Amy's correct. Unfortunately, I started this review, but I didn't finish it. But I believe one of the conditions that Matt had indicated on there was he was requesting that Beta review the soils conditions in that back infiltration system, just to make sure that in fact we've maintained the separation of groundwater. Other than that, I believe everything else has been answered. I believe they did do the truck routing to make sure that in fact that it didn't jump over the lane, yeah.
You're comfortable with that whole front entrance?
Matt was comfortable with it. I looked at it. I don't see it as a real issue. They've got the painted island that allows them the ability to be able to creep out a little bit. Certainly, they've taken account of that right turn back into the. I mean, the only other way they could have is if they had increased that radius on that curve a little bit more, but it's so wide now, and with that painted island, they've got plenty of room to allow them. Internally, yeah, the trucks are they'll be all over the place, but that's an internal movement issue.
Okay.
Other than that,
Okay, good. Mike? Things to go to you, or, any-
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We didn't have any other comments. Any previous items that we brought up were all addressed. And as Gary mentioned, reviewing Beta's comment letter, everything, it appears that everything's been addressed.
Okay, good, thank you. I'll go to the board. Chris? Questions, comments?
No, Mr. Chairman, thank you. The redrawn truck access looks improved. I still think it's going to be a little hairy in there sometimes, but it's certainly better than when we started.
Okay. Jay?
No, thanks for taking a crack at the trucks. I know that's difficult. It's kind of like playing a real sick, twisted game sometimes, but that's good.
Okay. Thank you. Beth?
I think, just one quick question. On page 4 of Beta's memo, It talks about question P2 that talks about the fire department. Let's see, hold on. It's asking if the fire department has reviewed. It says Bader defers to the fire department, no further comment. The entrance driveway is approximately 500 feet long before it gets to the site development. In addition, there is only one-way entrance driveway. Bader recommends access driveway alignment before to the fire permit. Did they provide any comments on that? Did I miss it?
Yeah.
If you scroll down, I think fire department responded.
They did.
The letter's right below, actually
Okay, I'm
mine.
sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mhm.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I read it the same way, I liked it.
Missed the letter. But no, no, I
Something
think,
there?
yeah, everything looks like they have no comments left, so, yep.
And fire department did present a little
Okay, so I missed it.
To the applicant, I just appreciate all the colored renderings and the fact that even on the 140 street facade, the north facade, even though it's technically the back of the building, you still broke up that facade with different color and panelization and opening. So I appreciate you responding and providing all of those views. They're extremely helpful. So thank you for that, and I think I have nothing further on my end.
Thank you. I just had a couple quick comments, and I don't know if you can make this happen. And this may help Beta when they go to review. If you could put dimensions from curb to curb at the front entrance throughout the throat, so, because I couldn't find any dimensions on the cut through. I just want to make sure when you go inspect and know what they're inspecting, because it's just kind of randomly there. Center line out, give us 3 points of location so they know what they're doing and how big the rubble strip is, like 12 feet wide or something. But put some dimensions on those few items if you could, please, so when Beta's out.
May I, through the chair, recognize Mike Malinowski from Allen Major. I just want to make sure he acknowledges that,
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, and he
Yeah.
can answer
Yeah.
that.
Yes, everybody hear me? We can definitely add some notes to the plans to illustrate the radiuses. We can also add dimensions across the front of that. Since we did the survey, typically we would also assist in the layout of those, so we would ensure that they would be accurate as well.
Okay. Yeah, even if you did one at the front, one in the middle, and one at the end, so you have 3 points of connection. That way, when Beta's looking at it, they know what they're looking at when they're on the field.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Okay, thank you. Jen?
Through the chair, I have one more question, and I apologize for not bringing this up sooner. The rendering is actually what made me think of this, which I appreciate that view of the front door. Is there any way to, I just don't know the site of the hotel well enough, if there is sidewalk or pedestrian way or something that could be connected from this building more safely to the sidewalk, sidewalks within the adjacent site and onto the street, or is it, I don't know if that's possible. Well, this sidewalk
Yeah.
here just dumps out into where all the trucks are coming back and forth, and like there's just no, at least from what I can see, safe way. If somebody wants to go take a walk on their break or to get from, point A to point B, I don't want to hold up this process, but it is, it would be nice. It's one of this is all the truck turn stuff, but it's any of the site plans
So
that.
I guess what Jen's looking for is there a connection point between the new building and, say, in front of Fairfield, the sidewalks, in case they walk out of that building to connect to the sidewalk and Fairfield to walk out through the industrial park?
For right now, they just have to walk on the driveway where all the trucks are coming in and out before they get back to the sidewalk within the hotel site.
I don't know if that's a great way to do it.
Do we
It's a
want them
tight-
walking from
it's a
the
tight
hotel
fit.
to that building?
Yeah, I don't think it's.
No,
a great
it's not
way
to
do
walk
it.
from the hotel to the building, it's if somebody wants to take a walk, they can, because there's a nice sidewalk network within the entire development. The whole Forge Park, you see people walking out there on their lunch break.
Is the sidewalk across the street? Is it on that side of the
No,
street?
it's on.
It's on that side.
Is it on that
It's
side?
side.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that's the north side. It's just, I've got the site plan up in that area. There's a drainage basin there. One side's got an embankment. The property line is almost like right up against this guardrail. I just think it's kind of hairy.
I mean, maybe there's a.
I'm not sure what this feature is here, but it's something.
I don't want to like make, you know, it's something that should have picked up on
Looks like it's strange.
when it was first submitted. It's just,
That's what that is. It's strange. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I just don't know if there's even room because we'd have to back up the driveway and we're talking about truck rollers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, catch that on that one.
yeah. Is it allowed to like stripe a section of a paved roadway?
And
Not
now,
tractor
safe for
trailers,
trucks.
pulling in.
No,
No.
but at least visually, there's some like separation between
not
there.
approved traffic
I'm
control.
pretty
I
sure
think
the
this building's
likelihood
gonna
of
have
Yeah.
12 people in it, probably 15 people. It's only 35,000 square feet, could be broken into two pieces, so.
Well, I wish everybody would go out walking on their lunch break. I don't know as this is a building that will occur.
Yeah. All right. Mark, any comments or questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, I have no further comments.
So other than that, I think we're all in good shape.
Mhm.
Make a motion to close the hearing for 6 Forge Parkway. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all
Would you like to
very
vote
much.
on it tonight?
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for making all the changes at the front entrance as well.
Mhm.
Keep your fingers crossed.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, next item of business would be a continued public hearing for 19 Dean Ave. And I believe they're looking for continuation, and that's a site plan application, special permit as well. Amy?
The next meeting, September 23rd.
Are you gonna be looking for an update on that one, or?
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I actually represent that applicant as well.
Oh, okay.
And they, really appreciate the feedback that we got last time from this board and are working to redesign what they have in mind for that site, taking into account the parking concerns that the board has raised. So they hope to be able to be ready by the next meeting, but that requires them to finish their design and get it in time, so there's sort of meaningful review before. So I don't know if they'll be ready for the next meeting. We would like to continue to the next meeting, but once we know for sure, I'll let you know as soon as I can if we need to continue.
Even if they give us a brief update of where they think they are, where they're trying to go with it, I think that'll be beneficial.
Yeah,
to the board.
they're looking at an all residential, I believe, use to be able to provide parking for those units. So
Okay.
that's the direction that they're going towards.
Okay, okay, good, so, September, what was that again?
23rd.
So I make a motion to continue 19 Dean Ave till September 23rd, do I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
General business, anybody have any, other couple items of general business, does anybody? No? Okay. Amy, I was just looking through and, looking for some updates and some completion schedules from a couple different jobs, and I don't know if you can touch base, I know we talked a little bit earlier, for Franklin Ford. Like to see where we
Yeah.
can stand with that, getting that one done and completed. I don't need an
Yeah.
answer now.
I can give you an answer, actually,
Well,
if you
that
don't
one
mind.
particularly, yeah. Go
Yep,
ahead.
you were there too, right? Yeah, they actually came in to tech review to update the staff a few weeks ago. They paved that front end where they took down the building. They have chosen at this time not to put the addition on. They're gonna come back with a revised site plan to meet the stormwater management requirements for the amount that they paved. The pavement, as they've told us, should cover their existing stormwater management, but that'll be under a beta review when they come back. So they will be filing a modification with their site plan, hopefully within the next few months.
And that had landscaping, I believe, along with that.
Yeah.
On the front of the street and whatnot, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these have just been lingering out there
Yeah.
for a while. Another one was the Chestnut Street apartment down the street. That has veteran unit or two set aside for veteran housing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see where that stands. That's been going on for like a year and a half now to 2 years. If we can send them a letter looking for an update when we want to try to complete.
We can do that. I can go through the building commissioner and see like where they're at to get it complete.
Especially for the veteran housing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know they're dedicated. And then, last but not least, the Taj across the street. Has there been anything with them meeting the special permit for the trim?
I have
And
not,
The patio, that patio still out of conformance, et cetera.
I've not heard anything back from them.
I'd like to get dates out of them. I would like to see that painted by the end of the season. It's
Okay.
only been almost a month and a half to 2 months. There's nothing going on, so I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but we can't I don't want to have a bunch of jobs just lingering out there when we start closing them up.
Okay.
Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. If we could do that, that'd be great. Anybody else?
Curiously, since I'm still relatively new, how does something like that impact the decision-making on other projects that the same proponent's putting forward?
It really shouldn't,
Okay.
but let's have its weight as you proceed forward, though, at some point.
I think it puts a lot of trust in an applicant when they do what they're going to say, and then they come back for another project and say that they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and they haven't done the same thing on another project. So for me, hearing someone say, well, take care of it, it's our project, it wants to look great, but then on another project, you haven't done what you said you were gonna do, definitely, weighs in your mind when you're trying to make a decision. Not that you can influence your decision on a property, that's by right, but I think having confidence that they're going to do what they say is important to me.
Okay, great.
That's why I like everything in writing and shown on a plan before you vote and close a hearing. Because you start to not trust people when they say they're gonna do things.
Speaking about in writing, when we are getting recommendations of other boards, and maybe this, I just don't know where to find it, but when the minutes aren't published from those meetings where those were agenda items, where do we get that information?
So technically, meeting minutes, if you did request them, even if they're in draft format, they have to be provided within 10 days of the request. So if I've known, or if they're not posted, whether you get it sent through a video or a draft or something, even if it's not approved by a planning board or by any board, you're supposed to submit the meeting minutes, know that they're draft format and they could be changed. You just have to request them ahead of time, 10 days prior. They have 10 days from the time you request them. That's my understanding. I'm not a lawyer, but I can verify with Mark Sorrell. But we are supposed to be able to provide them even if they aren't approved.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question
Sure.
following up on that. How long does a board have to submit their minutes for approval? Is it
You-
unlimited time, or?
Nope, the boards have 90 days from the day of the meeting to approve meeting minutes.
90 days.
Yep. So I try
That's
to
what
keep
I'm-
us up to
yeah,
date
that's
within,
Yeah.
we try to keep us up to date within the 90 days when I put them on the agenda. But all boards are supposed to have them done, approved within 90 days of the date of the meeting. Which doesn't give you the time to put the meeting minutes together, because that could take anywhere from 10, 20 days, but still. That's what I believe. I'm not a lawyer, so don't quote me. I am on video, but don't quote me, but I believe that's what the Mass General laws are.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Helpful, thank you.
Would it be possible to, and maybe this is just an impossible ask, but like, it's hard to keep track of, or almost, like, the website's very difficult to navigate, at least I just personally find that, in terms of like, when things that are on our agenda are also agenda items on other boards' agendas or commission's agendas in previous or related meetings. So then there's like that 10-day, that's 10 business days, so like, might not be able to get it in time to inform our meetings. Like, is there a way to just regularly have or request
Jen, are you
relative
asking-
minutes from Conservation Commission and the
I think
Environment
Amy does a
Commission?
good
And
job helping us, saying that, like, they went to the design review and they've gotten all the approvals as a buffer between from where we were to where we're going with it, you know what I mean? for all intents and purposes, like, we won't approve anything until it goes through our board of boards. So that's part of it, that's kind of a nice, we pick the tail end up on everything else. So, but yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's that big lag in between that you don't.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because the Design Review Commission's not an approving board, they're a recommending board. So even if, at the end of the day, they don't have authority to say, like, yes, we approve this, right? They're making recommendations, but they can choose not to take those recommendations, and the Design Review Commission still has to move it forward.
So it should technically, sometimes I think we approve things, say contingent upon design review decision or whatnot, but I think it might be helpful, Jen, if I'm hearing you correctly, say that, can we get a copy of their decision with the attached renderings so we can see what they approved?
Yeah,
So
and
we
just,
can see
maybe
it.
the dialogue, maybe some things that they asked for didn't end up coming to fruition, or, you know, I don't know,
I think in the past, it's come back to remind us that they haven't
Yes.
included the decision in our, the one I can think of is down here on Cook's Farm. Remember that decision wasn't
yeah,
included into the
yeah.
planning board
Yeah.
meeting minutes or decision, so therefore, when you went back to say, hey, that was wrong,
Yep.
you couldn't point to
right, there's no
anything.
recourse, yeah.
So I think when we approve something, having, is it in our general conditions that design
So-
review packages are of this decision, or?
So typically their decisions are just written up as one page and they don't necessarily include the color renderings. But I do request most of the time from the applicants, give us that color rendering to include within the site plans, so that they can see the you
Yeah,
can see the
yeah.
color rendering, that was recommended to the planning board.
Perfect.
And
That's how
we can do that, yes. Sometimes it's, kind of in court, they're filing while they're in front of the planning board too. So it's not always at the very beginning, sometimes it's in the middle, or sometimes it's in the end, of the color renderings. I think a lot of the applicants, when they get their recommendation from design review, they don't expect to make changes, which is okay, but the planning board is a recommendation. At the end of the day, I guess, you know, if the planning board has those comments, you have the right to make those comments.
I think for us as a board, it's just important that we start saying, including the design review decision as part of the record for.
Yeah, we have that now.
I don't think we, don't really,
No,
no.
not
We don't
officially,
really ever
no.
say,
No.
as part of a condition, that the design review recommendation applies.
Yeah, like as
Um,
approved by
That's
the
what-
Design
Yeah.
Board
That's what I'm-
Review Commission.
Yeah.
I include it.
Yeah,
I-
we should include it.
yes,
Yeah, we always
yes.
ask for it.
I include in the condition, well, yeah,
It's a standard condition then.
most of the time, if it's already been approved, then they're to
Yeah.
do that, or it's going to be per design review.
I'll take a look. Perfect.
Anybody else? Mark, any questions, comments?
No, none, thank you.
Oh, make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mark, enjoy.
Sunny Traverse City.